Yeah, we'll hold here on the white post. This side, George. Okay, quick change of gears here, lads. Up. Push, move. Coming forwards and backwards. 2 in, 2 out. Yeah, last one here. Come back, George. One more. Okay, last one here, then last. Just get wide. Push out. Last one. Get nice and wide now. A little change of gear.
Teams on the outs. Teams on the outs. Come on forward. 14. Good. 15. Yes, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Yes. Good, good. Teams pull back up. 4, 5, 6, 7. Calm. 8, 9. 10, 11. Good. 5, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. From Ben. 1, 2, 3. Late. Reload. 5. Let's go. 6.
Don't drop it or you start again.
Oh, he's cracking it.
Don't drop it or you start at the start.
Oh, sorry, you gotta go back. Back to the back. Back to the beginning.
Back to the start, back to the start.
Hit the ground, you have to start.
Hit the ground, you're back to the start. Yes, Gabby. Yes. Don't drop it, don't drop it.
Oh, Gabby.
Yes, Gabby.
Running out of balls, Gabby. Good lad.
No way. Oh, you got to go back. Oh, this bucket's getting full. You might have to go to a different bucket.
20 seconds. Come on, get a bench. Oh, Tommy, lovely. Go on, Tommy. Oh,
Nice.
Tommy.
Yes, it is. Nice.
Oh! Tennis! Oh!
afternoon and welcome to the Emirates Stadium and the Breakdown Live, where we will look to go back to the top of the table with a victory over Aston Villa. Adrian Clarke alongside me as always.
Afternoon.
How you doing, mate?
Very good, very good. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It finally feels a little bit like spring. I don't need our big overcoats on. So, yeah, like, it's a nice day. Let's hope we're still feeling it's a nice day come full time, because it's a big old game today.
Yeah.
Got to win today. And I think if we do win, it just sends, it will give us, it'll inject even more confidence into the team ahead of this running.
Yeah, you recovered after midweek as well. I didn't get to see you, but
yeah,
big game.
Like I felt a little bit underwhelmed. I've got to say, obviously it was a great occasion. I just felt that we slightly underperformed. We went just underneath what we're capable of. Bayern Munich really raised their game. They played excellently. I think a draw was a fair result. I'm still smarting a little bit from the penalty, and I know that there are tons of people out there that didn't think it was a pen. But I'm not changing my mind. I still think it was. So, yeah, there's frustration there, but also confidence that in that second leg we'll play better, that tactically it might suit us better, and I still think we can go through.
Yeah, I'm with you, Clarke.
Yeah.
I think the momentum takes Bukayo into the keeper, and if it gets given on the field, it stays as a penalty.
I don't know how he moves out of the way. He goes looking for it. There's no question he goes looking for it, but it doesn't mean it's not a foul, because I don't think he could have got out of the way, but a lot of people disagree. We kind of have to draw a line under it now and move on, but we just have to do the business. Play well in Munich, we go through.
Yep. Right, we shall talk a little bit more about the Bayern Munich game once we get up to the My Arsenal Awards box. But in the meantime, let's run you through the team news if you've not managed to see it just yet. We've got David Raya in goal, of course, and a back four of Wright, Gabriel Saliba and Zinchenko, Rice, Havertz and Ødegaard in the middle, and then Saka, Trossard, Gabriel Jesus complete the lineup. So I guess the talking points are Gabriel Jesus, we think, playing number 9. I mean, the thing is, Mikel's got tricks up his sleeve now where he can switch Jesus, Havertz and Trossard, but we think Jesus in at 9.
I would have thought so, but it's not guaranteed because they've both mixed it up quite a lot lately, haven't they? So, yeah, I would probably play him down the middle, a little bit of chaos there to unsettle Diego Carlos and Pau Torres, who are kind of two big, brutish centre-halves. I think that his style might upset them a little bit, but him and Trossard can sort of interchange, can't they, anyway? I'm pleased to see Trossard get his start because he's such a lethal finisher, and today we might not get 20 plus chances today because Unai Emery is a smart coach. We know that. I suspect he's going to come here with a game plan and he's going to try and be a little bit more defensive than normal. So we need clinical finishes on the pitch, and Trossard's definitely one of those.
You can't drop Trossard at the minute as well. You know, every time he's called upon, I know, again, we're going to do a little section on Trossard a little bit later, but every time he's called upon, he just delivers.
He does, yeah. I mean, 8 goals now, excellent sort of strike rate. But it's his ability to finish off both feet, really, that impresses me the most, and his versatility. So, yeah, look, he's having a terrific season. I think he's been a great signing for us, and he gets an opportunity today to potentially earn a starting berth against Bayern Munich. I still think he'll be on the bench over at the Allianz Arena, but you know, he's just got to do his best today to impress the gaffer.
Yeah, and the other thing worth talking about, I think there may nearly have been a goal in the other game. We don't know what is happening, but we'll try and find out.
Something's happened in the Liverpool game.
Something has happened. It's Zinchenko preferred over Kivior. What do you think the reason is for that?
I didn't think Kivior was wholly comfortable the other night. I think he had a hard time up against Leroy Sané. I thought he had a great game, Sané. So it was a confidence denter. I think today we expect to have most of the ball, and I think in games where we have a lot of the ball, Zinni is your guy to give you that extra bit of control. They've got a decimated central midfield, Villa, so I also think he wants to maybe overload that central midfield with the extra player so that we can play through the line. So yeah, look, it makes sense. And I've got to say, Zinchenko came off the bench, and I was impressed by him. I thought he did pretty well.
Yeah, as another cheer goes up in the stadium.
Well, I don't know what that was.
I have no idea.
This is agony. We're on here. We don't know what's happening.
I'm sure the people watching know what's going on, but we don't. Anyway, let's have a guest. Our first guest, actually, is doing something amazing. Now, since last year, Clarke, the Emirates has had British Sign Language fully integrated into the stadium Matchday presentation. And this opens up the Matchday experience to thousands of fans. Well, one of those people who is doing incredible things to get British Sign Language to a wider audience is our next guest, Daniel Gillings, and he joins us now. So let's get Daniel in. Come on in.
Hello, Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Good to see you, Daniel.
Hello, nice to see you.
Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. Right. I guess my first question for Daniel is, how important is it for a club like Arsenal to be doing things like this?
I think it's really, really important. Recently, for myself, I've grown up supporting Norwich. That's my local team, of course. And in terms of BSL access, it's very, very small and few. Compared to Arsenal, it's really amazing to come and see the big differences and the advancements that have happened. And it's the best I've seen so far. So it's so important for the deaf community to see that access and have that anywhere, not just within football, but just within companies, theatre, film, and so many different varieties of domains. So it's really amazing to have that inclusivity.
Fantastic. I know that Daniel's done some fantastic work in terms of bringing BSL into the school curriculum, and now you can get a GCSE in British Sign Language, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So congratulations on that. That's fantastic work. Must be so proud.
Oh yeah. So it actually started in 2018, and I was actually only age 12. But for me, I didn't expect it to become as big as it did. I just thought it'd be a small thing that would escalate, and then it became so big and it picked up speed so quickly. So receiving that support was really, really great. And I'm just hoping in September 2025, when it's stream-rolled and released out, it'll be so amazing to see in terms of the quality.
I'm not sure if Daniel has managed to see Mikel Arteta and Jorginho doing some content with, doing some signing content, actually. I just wanted to get his thoughts on it, if he's managed to see it, and how cool it is.
So for myself to see that, it doesn't really matter who the person is. If you're learning sign language, whether it's big or small, it makes a big difference just trying. And for me, just going on a walk on the street and meeting somebody that's trying to sign with me, saying something like good morning, that's so brilliant to see for myself. And knowing Jorginho learnt sign language of his own accord, that's a good role model for other people to see towards that, and it's really, really important.
Yeah, I was working on the Newcastle-Tottenham game yesterday, and there was a lot of deaf Newcastle supporters in the crowd. And I don't know if you saw this with Dan Burn doing the celebration. It was absolutely brilliant. I thought the reaction from the children was amazing. Big steps forward.
So I actually did see that video recently, and it was so lovely to see the young children who were deaf but so excited to see football. And that's what it's all about, seeing children have role models and seeing people that they can copy from. And for me, I think it's just the same thing, really, learning new things, learning sign language. So for the future, it'll just improve the quality and the equality for everybody else in terms of access and removing those barriers.
Well, lastly, I know you're a Norwich fan, but simple question, are Arsenal going to win today?
I'm going to be careful what I say, but I do think you'll win, possibly, and I think it'll be easy, but we'll see.
Well, listen, thank you very much, Daniel. Keep doing amazing things, and yeah, I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about what you're doing in the future. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Cheers, guys. Nice one. Good to see you. Good to see you. Nice one, Daniel. Good to see you. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
And you mentioned up at Newcastle yesterday. It was nice to see Spurs get beaten, but
I enjoyed commentating on that game. Let me tell you,
the celebration was brilliant, and the faces of the kids was unreal. Yeah.
I just saw it was such a small thing for a footballer to do, but also so impactful. It was really heartwarming, just for him in that moment of celebration, of happiness, of joy, for him to think about the bigger picture and to do that for the kids. I thought was awesome.
Yeah, really, and it just shows you, what the power that football can have.
Oh, yeah.
It's unreal. Right, just before we get the Gaffer's press conference ahead of this one, it's time for Clarke's question. I thought this was a good question.
Thanks,
this
mate.
week. I was pleased with this question. Right, which two members of the Arsenal Invincible squad also played for Aston Villa? That is Clarke's question today.
Two of them did.
Yeah, it's a
and
good
you
question.
might not know who they are. Some of you will, some of you clever clogs, but it's a tricky one.
We'll find out the answer once we get up to the box, which is where we're about to head. But in the meantime, as I say, the Gaffer sat down with the press ahead of the match this week, and here's what he had to say.
Hi, Mikel. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. Any team news? We just heard that Gabriel wasn't at the first part of training. Everything okay with him?
We've got one more day to prepare the match, and we'll see tomorrow if everybody is available.
Okay, so no hangover from Bayern?
We have some, but hopefully with another day we're going to be okay.
Okay, in terms of the Bayern game, what did you take of it? You've had time to reflect on it.
Reflection done, Bayern gone, now it's Aston Villa. Only focus on Aston Villa.
Okay, and in terms of Saka, obviously very animated at the end of the game, understandably. Has he calmed down?
Yes, he looked fine this morning, so he's got 48 hours to think about it, and that's done.
Okay. In terms of Aston Villa, what's impressed you most about Emirates' side?
Well, what they've done, obviously, since Unai come in, he's made a huge impact at the club in terms of performances and consistently unbelievable what they are doing. They're still in European competition. They played last night, so really impressed with what they've done.
Obviously, by Sunday, you're playing last in terms of the Premier League title race. How does that affect you, and what sort of challenge does that present you in terms psychologically, playing last and knowing that you could be behind both City and Liverpool by the game?
We will know the results. We still have our duty to win our game, which is the only thing that we can control. That happened a few times already. It's going to happen again the next few weeks. It's just focus on what we can do, what we can control, and make sure that we performed like we have to do against a really good side to try to beat them.
If I can just ask one last one about the semi-automated offside technology.
Yeah.
It was voted in unanimously. You pleased about this?
Yes, I think it was that unanimous. That means that it's going to be better, it's going to be faster and more efficient. So hopefully it's going to work and be very positive for us.
Thanks, Vicky. We'll go to Alex from the Premier League.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
What's the latest on Adrian Timber? When is he going to be ready to be in the matchday squad, do you think?
Still's got a few steps to make. He needs to play a game at least with the under-23s. He's going to have an in-house game soon as well. He's done everything in training. Now he's getting that match fitness and having people around and start competing in a football match, which is different to training.
What will he bring to this team when he's back?
Hopefully a lot for everything that we see in training and the time that he was fit. I think he's going to have a big impact in the team.
Arsenal unbeaten in the league in 2024, won 10 of your 11 games in the league. How good is the momentum right now?
Yes, really good, and we want to carry on going. It's the most beautiful part of the season coming up right now. Very busy schedule, and on Sunday we're going to have a really tough one against a really good side, and we're going to have to be really good to beat them.
The lead at the top of the table has changed 18 times already this season.
I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No.
Now you do. How exciting is it? How exciting is it to be involved in a title race like this one?
Hopefully it stays as it is for the remaining 6 weeks. And 18 is a beautiful number. I like 8 a lot. It was my number, so let's keep it 18.
Brilliant. Lucky number 18 then. How well are the players dealing with the pressure at the moment, going into each game, knowing that they simply cannot afford to drop points?
I think it's just a motivation. I think they lived it already, and they are super excited about what we are doing, the way the team is performing, winning matches, and they want more. We know the task, the challenge ahead of us, and how good we have to be to win it, but we're going to try.
As you mentioned earlier, Aston Villa have just played. They have some key players out injured. Can you use that to your advantage, do you think?
We always try to use things in our advantage. We don't know what they are going to do, and there is nothing that we can control. They still won last night, and they are a really, really good side. So we know the danger, and we know our strengths as well, and try to do what we have to do to win it.
Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
George, BBC.
Mikel, hello. Sorry, I'm just going back to Tuesday. I know the VAR call didn't work in your favour, but in general, there's a few differences in the Champions League VAR system to the Premier League, and I just wondered what you preferred. It seems in the Champions League it seems to be a lot smoother. I just wondered if you had an opinion on that.
No, it is different as well. The officials, I think they are different. You have to adapt. It's a competition that is played in a slightly different way, and we're trying to adapt.
And just in looking back to Tuesday, that result, because it was such a great game, but has that got the potential to be so draining for your players because what they put into it, or do you have to look at the other way and they could take so much out of that for the end of the season?
I think a lot to take, and especially how we manage emotionally the game. We've been very dominant and ahead, and in 15 minutes you are behind a top side, and you have to deal with that game emotionally, which is really tough to do, and I think the team did brilliantly to manage that situation, half time, everything to play for Munich.
When you talk about that emotional, you can't teach that, can you, really? Can you as a manager, or do they just have to learn that on the field in big games, how they take that into the last 7 matches you've got?
I think that's something that you have to work on daily with a lot of aspects. So when you are there, you already are living certain things in your system and as a team to be able to deal with them.
Just a word on Unai Emery. I know he's done his 1,000th game on Wednesday, but I mean that's some some achievement.
Unbelievable. And he's done it in so many different countries, in so many different contexts, and he's been incredibly successful. Obviously, he's very close to my hometown. I have huge admiration for him and huge respect, and wishing the best after Sunday. But what he's doing again, I think it's really impressive.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
The next 2 weeks, how defining are they going to be for you and your season?
Percentage-wise?
Percentage-wise, or just, you know?
Very, for sure, because we can be in all competitions, going into the semi-finals of the Champions League and being top of the Premier League or not, you know. So every game is going to define what our future looks like.
So with that in mind, how excited are you and the players, regardless of this football cliche of just looking one game at a time? It's impossible now, isn't it, to just look at one game. You must be looking at the whole season, at what's left and what is there to achieve.
It's the only thing possible to look at one day and one game. It's the only thing that is possible, because it's the only thing that maintains you focused and determined in the task that you have to do on the day, which is the only thing that you can control.
So you've never woken up one morning in the last month, let's say, and thought, I could, if things go right, be the first Arsenal manager in 20 years to be champions in this country?
I don't think like this, to be fair. I think about what we have to do next to be the next opponent and to maintain the position that we are in. Still very far.
How difficult is that then, just to look at one, just not to look at the bigger picture?
But it's the job that we live, and the game finishes, and 15 minutes later we finish Luton, and I was watching Brighton in my office in the stadium. And it's like this, because you don't have time, you have to prepare, and you are on to the next one.
And finally, your success a lot this year has been built defensively. I mean, in the Premier League, I think you conceded 4 goals since the turn of the year. Is that what ultimately will win you either or both of the Champions League and the Premier League?
Well, it's a huge platform, and it gives you a real chance to win football matches, that's for sure. And we've been very consistent, and we've seen as well on Tuesday the difference when you concede or don't concede, and how you concede those goals, the impact that they have. So let's keep doing it.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
In terms of keeping the players both sort of relaxed and positive so they can play their best in these games and not tighten up, how do you work with them? Do you have a sports psychologist in the team, or is it something you speak to the players about?
I think doing it naturally. Obviously, we have a lot of support from different areas and in different fields and expertise, and we do it between all of us. Then it's understanding as well the mood of the team, the mood of individuals, and trying to tweak that every single day to be in the right zone when they have to perform, give them the best chance to do that.
So there's no special techniques you do to sort of keep players on that right level between relaxed and energised?
I don't know if they are special. There are techniques, there are ways to do it, there are ways that you believe that can work and impact the team, and this is what we have to try to do.
So there you go, the thoughts of Mikel ahead of this one. And we've made our way to the My Arsenal Awards box, Clarke, with a fantastic studio audience. Yes, yes, brilliant. Right, everybody excited for this one? Looking forward to the game? Yeah? Confident after midweek against Bayern Munich? Yeah? Okay.
No, that's confidence. I like that.
Yeah. Right, just before we continue, I've got to give you the answer to Clarke's question. I don't know if you guys managed to hear it, but Clarke's question today was which 2 members of the Arsenal Invincible squad also played for Aston Villa. So Invincible's the key word. There's a lot of people.
A few young people in here today that I can't.
Anyone know the answer? Anyone want to throw out some names?
Pires.
Yeah, Bobby Pires. Yeah, correct.
You know, Senderos?
Senderos?
No, not Senderos. Someone that was on the telly last night.
Some iconic defender. If I said Ruud van Nistelrooy, would someone know the answer? Martin Keown. Yeah, there you go. Well done. Well done. Right, and if you want to be here in the My Arsenal Rewards box, there is the code, the voucher code that's going to come up on the screen right now. And how many points is it? Oh, it's 100 points. 100 points. That's big.
They've met in the middle of this. Yeah, it was 200 a couple of weeks ago. Then it was a skinny 50 for a Bayern game. It was outrageous. That's shocking. But yeah, it's quite good. So yeah, use up your points. Come in the studio. Yeah. Obviously, not many games left. Some big old games to come between now and the end of the season. I mean, especially if we win today. If we keep this run going, then we're in for a real treat, aren't we, here at Emirates between now and the end of the season. Love it.
Yeah. Right, let's talk Bayern Munich then. Tuesday, we drew here in the first leg, 2-2. I've got to be honest, Clarke, I'm, like you, a little bit disappointed. Here's the goals. I think defensive mistakes let them in. Yeah,
look, we got off to a good start. First 15 minutes was excellent. This was a lovely goal, wasn't it? Really just nice. Using the defender as a marker. I mean, Bukayo Saka's been superb in the Champions League this season. Goals and assists almost every time he's played. And yeah, you thought, look, Bayern are there for the taking. We can absolutely go for the jugular here and maybe run up a nice, handsome lead. But it didn't work out like that. We made a mistake with Gabriel and Kivio, a little bit of a mix-up. And then from that turnover, Serge Gnabry sort of, punishes us, doesn't he? And it was their only shot on target. Barring the penalty, that was the only shot on target they had in the entire 90 minutes. So, yeah, real frustration. They did cause us problems on the counter. This is the pen. Minimal contact, but it is a pen. Ultimately that is a penalty. So look, you knew what Harry Kane was going to do, and to his credit, he's used footage of David Raya. He said afterwards that he knows he goes early to make sure he gets to the corners. So that was a good piece of thinking from him. So it was disappointing, but we did show a little bit of character, didn't we, to come back into it, and I think we were well worth the draw come the end.
My thing is, what I found quite interesting is in the Premier League, Clarke, we have been...
Great goal.
Yeah, really good. Trossard. I said he's
What about Jesus?
Yeah.
That was a lovely piece of footwork from Gabriel Jesus. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. In the Prem, my point is, our defence has been solid, right? I've noticed in the Champions League on a few occasions we've looked a bit rocky at the back.
Yeah.
What'd you put that down to?
I think that we've been a little bit open. I think the games are generally a little bit more open. I mean... What do we think? I'm interested to know what you guys think actually about the penalty. A show of hands would probably be easier. Who thinks this was a penalty and who thinks it was? Who thinks it was a penalty? So we got 4 out of 4.
He's unsure.
We got okay. We've got mainly
I mean,
3/4.
Let's caveat this that we're all Arsenal fans, so that may have something to do with it.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, I was just astonished at the number of people on social media that came back at me when I said that should have been a penalty. It was almost outrage that I could even dare to say it, and I just think there was a heavy contact. I know that he went looking for it. But I still think that at that speed, he's got to move his legs somewhere to get across, and that they would have collided. And Neuer was nowhere near it.
Against Manchester United, it was relatively similar. I'm not saying it was exactly the same, but he stuck his leg in and got the decision.
Well, when you see the penalty that Man United got yesterday for handball, I know it's a completely different thing, but how soft some penalties are. I thought we were unlucky, but we got to move on from it. And hopefully, that we'll go to Bayern Munich and pick up a really positive result. We're good enough to, aren't we? I think we all know that. Yeah.
It's funny because I'm not worried. It's weird. Going away to the Allianz Arena feels like a weird situation for me not to be super worried. But I'm actually excited for the game.
Yeah, I said on the podcast Handbrake Off, I said, I hope we wear the yellow kit. And that's a really weird thing to say. But do we think like that is a thing, right? We play so well in this yellow kit. I mean, I still think it's a little bit of a dodgy kit. It wouldn't suit me, but I do think that we've produced some amazing performances, and I think that Mikel Arteta is being quite superstitious. I think he's going to insist we wear yellow, and that will genuinely give me 10% more confidence that we can get the result there. I know it's silly, but I don't think I'm alone, am I? No, I'm getting some nods.
Definitely an ex-footballer in the house over here, that's for sure. Right, let's have a couple of guests on then. Both content creators. One is a friend of the show, been on quite a few times. The other is the host of Scenes on Sky Sports. So let's welcome Specs Gonzalez and Sharky. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you, bro. Just jump in the middle. In the middle. Right, Specs, you first, I guess. Tell us about Scenes then, what you guys are doing here today.
Scenes, we're here at Emirates with, I'd say it's like, what would you call it, Sharky? It's like access that fans don't usually experience. So, yeah, we was in the change room. We just get to be around Emirates and, yeah, it's bougie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's a bit crazy as well. I've seen it. It's you kind of inserting yourself into mad situations a lot of the time.
Well, of course.
I'd expect nothing different. Were the players in the changing room? Was it kind of before they
Well,
got in?
so we saw the players come out off the coach, and that was good because we get to chat to them. I did a bit of my ritual. Because obviously I was a former Arsenal fan that supports Burnley now.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's going really bad. So today I'm back. Make some notes for me.
Thank you. They kind of didn't.
But nah. So yeah, it's just. What I love about scene is it's just being free, getting to meet the players, and yeah.
It sounds like a really tough job. It's
my lifestyle, so it's I love it, man. And the players understand. The players know I'm joking. Yeah. That's the main thing.
Yeah. And for you, Sharky, today you helping Specs out because I know you kind of link up with fans of different clubs and stuff. So you're the Arsenal fan who's showing him the rituals.
I am, yeah. So I'm here every home game. So today's nice to be here and be here with Specs as well and Scenes. Obviously, with good friends. We've been working together for a while, and to not let him become too reckless as well.
Yeah, but remember the first game of the season, the Scenes.
So the first ever episode of Scenes, I was on it with Specs, and it was a Burnley game actually. It was a Burnley game,
Okay.
so I was more of like a neutral. He was a Burnley fan that game, but yeah, it's good to be here. Big game today. Every game's a big game from now to the end of the season. So and at the time, I don't know. I think there's like a minute left of the Liverpool game, and they're still losing. So
yeah, I've got it here. They're into 7 added minutes, it's still 1-0 to Crystal
It's
Palace.
agony, isn't it? We just got to do our job today, though,
Exactly.
haven't we? Yeah. I mean, what do you make of the team? Have you seen the starting lineup?
I mean, I announced it.
No.
Yeah, he did.
I just announced it. Yeah, it's
Didn't know
amazing.
that.
So yeah, the start lineup looks strong. A little bit of rotation.
Did you give it some, by the way? When
I
you
did.
announced
I gave
it?
a bit of oomph, you know. Gave a bit of oomph. Yeah, it's a bit of rotation. Zinchenko starts as well today, so I think Arteta is expecting to dominate possession. He's a good option for that. You know, he's going to come into midfield and have more players on the ball further up the pitch. But apart from that, it's a strong team. I like it. Definitely like it.
Can I just ask Specs, as a former Arsenal fan, what do you think about Unai Emery coming back here? Does that make you nervous, or are you confident that we can get one over on him today?
It makes me slightly nervous because when you look at the table now, that's Villa in the top 4. So they're trying to get the Champions League themselves, which is very interesting. I feel like as well, Emery is coming in with a point to prove because he must be jealous of Arteta, surely.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's gotta
So
be an element.
there is slight worry, but Arsenal are strong at home, and obviously the defence as well. Yeah, Arsenal should get this done.
We should do it. Yeah, you're right.
We should get this done. I'm back. Come on, man.
Right. We want to get our ideal Arsenal players. A big cheer outside, so I'm thinking the game is finished, which is good news.
Is it really?
Yeah. Brilliant, amazing. Right, we get an ideal Arsenal player. So what we do with this is we need left foot, right foot, composure, heading, pace, and celebration. You two can do it together.
Or current?
It's kind of taking, say, like Thierry Henry's right foot. Exactly. Yeah. So what are we doing?
I'm going to go first.
So tell us the category.
You can rotate.
Left foot first.
Left foot first. I'm going to go first.
No, tell me which side. Go on.
Oh.
I got my mind.
What, left?
Yeah.
Podolski.
No, he has power. I'm going for Mesut Ozil.
No,
they're never going to agree.
I mean, we haven't got all day, boys.
My missus is called Podolski.
His missus is called Podolski, so...
Okay.
But I think that's a good shout for left foot.
Podolski, yeah.
Go on then, Sharky. What's the right foot?
Right foot then.
Okay, that's Thierry Henry.
Okay.
That's TT.
Yeah,
Easy.
we can't knock that. What about composure?
I got this one. Oh,
No.
Santi goes on.
No, this one will go to Ozil.
Composure.
Okay, Santi, take Santi.
You got Ozil.
Odegaard. Odegaard?
Sol Campbell. Sol Campbell. Might as well win it.
You got the mic. Take it.
Okay.
Composure, Sol Campbell.
Sol Campbell. Heading.
Mesut Ozil.
Gabriel, Giroud, Gabriel. What do you guys think? Gabriel?
Big Gabby.
Gabriel, give it to Big Gabby.
Yeah,
Big Gabby. Okay, he's in. 2 more. Pace.
We've got Theo, Hector.
But listen, before your time, Pascal Sigon.
I don't think it was that fast.
No, he was quick, bro, trust me.
From centre back?
Yeah. Do you remember Pascal Sigon?
Yeah, of course I do. Top legend.
Rapid.
Flamini? Oh, Per Mertesacker.
Okay.
We'll go with Theo Walcott.
Okay, Theo Walcott. Last one, celebration.
Do you remember who did it? Who?
Adebayo.
Adebayo Abure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Henry Adebayo.
Abue.
Who did this one?
Henry
Was it
Adebayo.
Henry and Adebayo?
Yeah.
No, it can't be guided by man, because he went to.
Yeah.
What was Ian Wright's one?
Ian Wright, yeah,
What was it? Oh, that one.
He just had loads. Who are you going for? There's loads of names going around here.
Uncle Ian, go on.
Ian Wright. Okay, there we go. That is your ideal Arsenal player.
Very good, boys. Very good.
Right, before we let you go, minute to win it. This is what minute is the first goal going to be scored in? Yeah, Sharky's on there already, so you can't have another go.
This is
for you, Specs.
So we're going to pick
what minute do you think?
So Theo nailed it. That's why he's naught. So he got it dead on.
So if you say 14th minute was scored on the 12th, you get 2 because of 12th.
Yeah, you get -2. Theo Walcott said 14, and it was on the 14th minute. Yeah.
Pick a number.
9th minute.
9th minute. Okay, there we go.
Right,
That sound of that. Right, boys. Lovely to have you in with us today.
Anytime,
Let's hear it for Specs and for Sharky. Take care, guys. Nice one. Take care. See you later.
See you later.
Just give it to G over there. Yeah, absolute characters. Sol Campbell as well.
He did have great composure, to be fair, but I'm not sure where he's coming from. I mean, Pascal Seagan. I mean, come on. But yeah, characters. I think that's the word.
I mean, that is what Scenes is like, by the way. If you want to watch it, it is on the Sky Sports YouTube channel. You get much more of that. Right, anyway, let's crack on and with the number. That's where we're headed now, Clarke. And today's number is 142.
Yeah, it's a big one. Look, it's a quirky one. Look, Villa have caught their opponents offside 142 times in the Premier League this season. That is more than 40 more often than any other side. So what does that mean? That means they push right up to the halfway line and they will catch you out. So, you know, the likes of Saka and Trossard and Jesus have got to time their runs properly. They really squeeze the middle of the pitch and they try and rush you. They try and sort of crowd you and force you, because they know that you want to be tempted into playing passes in behind, and they try and force you into sort of overhitting it so that Martinez comes off his line, sweeps it up, and they're really, really good at it, actually. So we just got, it's a different type of challenge. On the flip side, they don't get offside hardly ever at all. I think City are the only team that don't get offside less than them. So yeah, it's just a little tactical quirk to look out for today. We might have more offsides than usual.
It means it might be quite difficult for Bukayo and Trossard, particularly Bukayo, who likes to run in behind.
Yeah, but if you get your timing right, you're fine, aren't you? And it's about pressure, okay? They're very good at getting pressure on the ball so that you're sort of just playing a quick pass in behind and they back themselves to defend that. The key today, maybe this is why Zini's been brought in, is to give us a little bit more control. So if we've got, I don't know, 2 or 3 yards to look up and play a pass and they've still got that high line, that's when they're in trouble. And that's where Villa concede a lot of chances, where they don't get quite tight enough and teams just clip balls over the top of them for people to run onto. So hopefully that's the way we beat them today. But it's easier said than done.
It's interesting that that's a big tactic that they employ now, because, you know, we didn't do that when Unai Emery was here.
No.
You know, so I wonder why he's gone to Villa.
Do we have Socrates at the back?
Potentially.
I mean,
he was rapid.
He was quicker than I think. Yeah. Who else would have been defender during the Emery? Mustafi, I mean, not the quickest, was he? I think you need real pace. You know, you see it at Tottenham with Van der Ven, and their centre halves are pretty fast. You also need a keeper that sort of stays outside their box so that they're ready to sort of come off the line, and Martinez loves that. So it's funny because he didn't do it with us, but yeah, it's a defensive tactic. It's a ploy to negate teams. And it doesn't always work for them, but look where they are in the league table. It's not been exactly bad.
Could be a dangerous tactic for them against us, though, at home as well.
Yeah, and I also think he's going to be a bit more defensive today because he doesn't want to get beat here.
Yeah,
no chance.
Let's talk about Unai Emery. You know, he's the man in the Villa dugout now, our old manager. But he's doing a great job, I think it's fair to say.
Very good, very, very good job. I think he was always a good manager, wasn't he? I mean, I don't think we disliked him. It fell apart a little bit, didn't it? And I think the communication was maybe an issue. But he had some difficult characters at that time. It wasn't an easy dressing room to manage. So I think there was a number of factors why it didn't work for us. But he's a good underdog coach, I think. Someone who sets up a team, really well organised. He's good at spotting what other teams are good at and stopping them. And I think when you're an Arsenal coach, we don't want that so much, do we? We want to play our football and concentrate on being amazing. And he's more about stopping the opposition. So he's very good at it. But that said, we had Emery ball, didn't we? Which was quite entertaining at times. I mean,
there was a goal against Fulham, was it?
There's some great goals. We played out from the back and played through, and there was some fantastic moments. It just felt that it was the wrong manager at the wrong time, and it was obviously following Arsene Wenger was a tough gig for anybody, wasn't it? So look, he's got Villa going. 4 at the back, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. They're really good at, like I said, disrupting you and then playing those balls over the top or out wide for counter attack. Yeah. So, we've got to be careful today, definitely.
Not only following Arsene Wenger, that's really, really difficult, but also the players that he inherited, weren't necessarily maybe well-beating players. If you get my drift,
he would have preferred to manage this squad.
Yeah,
wouldn't he?
right.
But I think we've got some numbers on Unai Emery and his win ratio. Look, I can say, look at Roberto Di Matteo there. He won't want to see that, will he? Although he did win the Champions League, so he's probably not that bothered. But look at the improvement on Steven Gerrard in terms of the win ratio. It's actually the highest win ratio of any Aston Villa manager ever at this stage. So they love him. Yeah,
and he went on that crazy run at home, didn't they, this season? Which has come to an end now. But they were unbeaten at home for how? It was something mad.
It was almost a year, I think. So he's done a terrific job because Villa have never been nowhere near the top 4, have they, for many years? So this is a tougher game this year than it has been in previous years for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned counters actually, and we saw against Bayern. Although their goals, in my opinion, didn't necessarily come from counters and were definitely, we were at the fault of them, I guess. But they managed to get in quite a few times on the counter-attack. But luckily, we've got players with good recovery pace. Villa, that's kind of where they're strong,
It's kind of what they do, I would say stylistically, they're very similar to Bayern Munich. This is shots from fast breaks in the Premier League this season. They're third. So, they're not bothered about having loads of the ball. But what they will do is sort of break on you at speed. And at the end of those runs, they've got Ollie Watkins, who I think has had 10 of those shots. Diaby has had, I think, 6 of those shots. So we have to be better at defending the counters than we were against Bayern, because that, for me, was a problem. It was a bit unusually open. I don't know if you guys agreed. It was. I thought our midfield was a bit off the other night. I didn't think it was as good as it normally is. So that unit has got to be better, because they were just running right down the middle at us. And today, they might not run down the middle, but they'll feed it wide to Diaby, they'll feed it wide to Rodgers, or even forwards to Watkins with a long ball in behind. And we've got to be careful.
I mean, Big Gabby, does like a battle. We saw a couple of weeks ago against Erling Haaland, against Harry Kane as well. Ollie Watkins, he'll be savouring that, won't he?
Yeah, but he's not big. He's sort of one of those slippery strikers. I don't think Ollie Watkins is the sort that wants to get involved like Kane.
Yeah.
Like Kane. Did you see it? Yeah, like Kane. You don't want to get involved like Kane.
Red card for you, was it? What do you think?
I'm not outraged by it, but go on. What do we think here? Red card? Yeah. Definitely says Wayne says definitely. I think it could have been a red, and I think if it had given a red, VAR wouldn't change it. But I'm not that outraged by it. Yeah.
Would have been great for him to be ruled out the second leg.
It would, it would. Yeah. What can you do? What annoyed me the other night was that he gave fouls for everything, didn't he? Like the little taps. The players were falling over free kick, and then the big one at the end doesn't give it. So there you go.
You mentioned Gabriel. You're mentioning this at R1, but Gabriel.
We should get the mic there. Let's get the mic there. Yeah, just say that again for us.
So what about the Gabriel? You're mentioning the R1, but what about theirs where he picked the ball up? Handball.
It's a really good question. Personally, I think it would have been a nonsense if they'd have given a penalty for that. I know by the letter of the law that you're not allowed to do it, but clearly it's just a miscommunication where he thinks, well,
the law is the law.
The law is the law, but I think sometimes common sense comes into play. And like if it was a kids' game, I would have said, whoa, start again. Like I know you didn't mean to do that. Like if we want to give penalties for that, I just think that's just it's ridiculous. But yeah, I suppose by the letter of the law we got away with it. But yeah, I think common sense prevailed on that personally. Yeah. And by the way, I don't know if you saw it on social media. It's something we always do. So, but what normally happens is Raya picks it up and then he rolls it to Gabriel, who then puts his hand down and plays the goal kick. The difference this time was that Raya kicked it to him. He forgot himself, and that was the key difference. And Gabriel just did what he's instinctively been doing all the time: picks it up, puts it down. So it's a definite innocent mistake.
There's layers to it, though. I mean, like, we'll never know if Gabriel heard the whistle or not. You know, you just don't know.
There's no way he heard. There's no way he thought he'd done anything wrong there. Yeah. He's not trying to gain an advantage.
All right. Let's talk about Aston Villa's midfield, because this is an area where we should have more than enough to win the battle, because they're missing key players, aren't they?
Yeah. So Kamara is kind of their best defensive midfielder. He's out for the season. Douglas Luiz is suspended, so he's been their best midfielder this season. Scores goals, is good at defending. He's kind of at all action. So they haven't got either of those two. So I don't really know what they're going to do. It's going to be Tielemans, Zaniolo, and McGinn. And you know, they're good players, but outside of that, you know, there's no one on the bench. They're just sort of kids in midfield. So I definitely think, and that none of those three are brilliant defensively. So I would say that we can absolutely slice through them down the middle. I'm looking for Rice to go into Odegaard or Saliba and Gabriel through those little holes into the front, either into Odegaard, into Gabriel Jesus. So yeah, I think we can do pretty well in that area.
Yeah,
this time around.
We need to be careful though, because McGinn, admittedly, you know, he's always a nuisance against us.
Scored against us, didn't he? Yeah, he scored in that last game. He scored in midweek. Yeah, he's a good player, John McGinn. So yeah, we've got to be careful. But I just think if we had our two regular central midfielders out, you'd be nervous ahead of the game, and I think that's what Villa might be, because Tielemans isn't a great defender. I mean, there's a talk, wasn't it, of us signing him not that long ago. I mean, any hands up that regrets not signing Yuri Tielemans? No.
Again, I've got to say, maybe the answer might be different if we weren't doing so well.
Yeah, this is true. He wouldn't get a game in this squad. Yeah, he's not a bad player, but yeah, I think that ship sailed, didn't it? And apparently, I don't know whether we were legitimately in for him, but he didn't obviously show enough desire to come here. So yeah, we move on.
He's lost.
Yeah.
Just a word on our midfield then in this battle, because you know Jorginho's come out today. Kai Havertz has dropped back into midfield. We think. Is that the right call for you? Are you happy with that?
I think Jorginho, you probably want to save it. I don't think he wants to play 3 games in a week, does he? So I get it. Like Bayern Munich, you'd imagine he'll play because he's got that experience. So yeah, why not play Havertz? I mean, I might have been tempted to even give Havertz a rest and maybe play Smith Rowe or somebody like that, or
Thomas.
Thomas has not been in good form, has he? He looks a bit rusty, doesn't he? I don't think he's quite right at the minute. So look, yeah, I don't object to it. It's just that Kai, I think, has definitely been better as a striker than as a midfielder this season. And yeah, I think we could have used Trossard in there, but I think you've got to be careful. We can't go too attack-minded because this is a team that's in 4th place. You know, they're no mugs. We've got to balance it out a little bit. We can't just throw everybody forward today.
We know that Mikel loves players that are versatile, and you know, having Trossard, Jesus, Havertz all in the team, you know, you can kind of mix and match a little bit with those players, you know. So,
yeah, exactly.
Right, key man for us. You've gone for the one and only Declan Rice.
Well, I have. Yeah, I've gone for Declan because I just thought he was off it the other day. I just thought he was like. He's been brilliant, hasn't he? He's been like 8 or 9 out of 10 every week, and then against Bayern Munich, 6. Really, I don't think he wasn't bad, but he didn't impose himself. He didn't have many touches. He didn't make many passes. We didn't see any of those driving runs. Today, up against this sort of decimated Villa midfield, I want to see Declan Rice take the game by the scruff of the neck and just own it, and be the main man. And I just think if he's on song today, then it gives us that platform to get the forwards into the game to go and win us it.
What do you think the reason was for his performance in the Bayern Munich game? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Do you think the reason why he didn't play well on midweek was because he was playing at he wasn't playing at the bottom of the midfield and he was playing because Jorginho was there?
No, because that's where he's been playing when Jorginho's played. Like
playing left 8.
Yeah, against City they sort of both played defensive, didn't they? But I think in general, Jorginho is the one in the middle and Rice is to the left. But yeah, I don't know. I just think he was. I think he was a bit nervous. I do. I don't think he was. I think he was a little bit edgy. What did you think?
I actually thought he was probably a bit too far forward.
Yeah.
I saw him a lot. I normally sit in the North Bank in the corner there.
Yeah.
And he was practically alongside Martinelli or Leandro Trossard. And it felt like he wasn't really in the game.
Yeah.
And I think he's suited more to being at the base of the pivot kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the problem we have is if you have him there, who do you play next to him? That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, well, yeah. Today he's going to have that. Yeah, but in a big game, you could go with Partey, I suppose. But England manager plays Declan Rice just always there, doesn't he? As a defensive midfielder. It might be the case that he goes with that in Munich because we do need to be better at dealing with the counter attacks. And Jorginho, unfortunately, doesn't have great pace. You know, he's good at loads of stuff, but he's not that good at running. And Bayern Munich are very good at running. They're super fast, aren't they? So I personally would have Declan Rice in that deeper role in the second leg. I'm not saying I'd drop Jorginho, but I'd consider changing it.
Yeah. Massive game in the grand scheme of the season as well. Absolutely huge.
Yeah. It is, but they all are, aren't they?
Yeah. And the Real Madrid Manchester City game as well. Of course, that's who we play in the next round if we get through.
Yeah.
That essentially finished 0-0. That's the way.
Does anyone, if we go through, does anyone in the building want to play Man City in the next round?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get the mic across. Come on.
That's brave wanting to watch another Arsenal versus Manchester City.
Oh, I don't know. Why is that?
Easier game than Real Madrid is what we're getting.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's not count our chickens. You're right.
I think it's 50-50. I think Bayern are probably favourites now, aren't they? Being at home to go through like with the bookies. But I think it's 50-50.
Yeah, I think we're better than them. Simple as that.
I don't think there's any doubt we're better, but it doesn't mean you go through. So yeah, we've got to be careful.
All right. Well, Nicole has been out and about with our question of the day, chatting to some fans, and the question of the day is favourite moment or goal of the season. Nicole.
Thanks, guys. Yes, I'm here outside Emirates Stadium with our question of the day. Now, we are coming towards the end of the season, and what a season it has been so far. So there's only one question to ask, really. What has been your favourite goal, game or moment of the season so far? Let's go. Right. Hello. I know we've loved this season so far. It's been great, hasn't it? I'm going to put you under a bit of pressure. What has been your favourite moment so far, if you can think of one?
Rice v Manchester United.
Yeah, OK. And have you been to many games this season?
Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest.
I love that you can remember them because all of them just merge into one for me. How are you feeling about today then? Because, you know, this game is important, isn't it?
It is very important for the title race.
And you're feeling confident?
Yeah.
You're so cool and composed. I love it. Right, what about you, sir? What's been your favourite moment of the season so far?
There's been some really late goals this season, I think, got us through, and especially the one at Luton, Rice at Luton, really enjoyed that one. But I think we've just been so good this season. It's been really enjoyable. So.
That's the thing. It is quite hard to think of one moment because there have been so many. And are you feeling confident as well today?
Well, I think we have to be. If we're not confident, then it'll rub off on the players. So we need to be confident and will the team along.
And you think we can go all the way?
Hope so.
You shouting, yeah, I love the confidence. Thank you so much, guys. Right, come on. Hello. Oh, love the shirts. Guys, the question of the day is what has been your favourite moment, goal, anything that has happened so far this season? I know. I'll give you a second to think, and now I'm going to shove a mic under your mouth, and hopefully you have an answer.
Probably the next goal that's going to come.
OK. Is that going to come today, please?
Of course.
Yeah?
First half.
And who? Who's scoring?
Havertz.
Yeah. To be fair, Havertz has been in such good form, so I don't blame you for saying that. OK, what about you, sir? Best moment so far?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Probably Rice's last-minute goal against Luton. That's a good one.
Not bad. We've already had that. I mean, I guess there are so many different moments in your head. Has there been one moment where you just went absolutely wild celebrating?
I think that was it. That was great.
And what did you do? What was your celebration?
Amazing.
Through the couch, I remember.
I flipped everything over. It was great.
You flipped a couch over?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stand away from you because I'm a bit scared of what might happen. Thank you guys so much. Right. Hi, guys. Can I ask you a question? What has been your favourite moment so far this season? I know there's been a lot, so it's hard to pick one, but what would it be?
The Martinelli goal that hits off Doku against Manchester City, I think, that goal.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and how are you feeling about today's game?
Pretty good. I think we'll win because of last match, 2-2. But I think we'll win today, yeah.
And who do you think is going to score?
Odegaard today.
Oh, nice one. Okay, thank you so much. Right, guys, you have heard what we think outside Emirates. Back to you in the box.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nicole. Some really good moments there from
it's been
this
a great
season.
Yeah. It's been one to remember. We just got to sort of, try and get that piece of silverware at the end of it.
I was about to say my favourite moment of the season is yet to come. Be when we're on the parade bus, Clarke.
The open top bus. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, look, we're in the mix. I've just, as I've said before, I'm just determined to enjoy it. I think we did enjoy the ride last year, but there was also a lot of nerves, and I think this time around, I just think let's just enjoy the football. It's been brilliant, and what will be will be.
Yep, agreed. Right, let's check in with our commentary team. Calling the game for us today, as always, Dan Roebuck, and alongside Dan, David Hillier. Afternoon, fellas.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, one and all. Yeah, we're getting a little bit giddy, obviously, what happened earlier at Anfield, David. Is it a two-horse race, do we think now?
I still can't call it a two-horse race, Dan. Not fully. You need a bigger gap, but certainly going to help the cause, I think, from Arsenal. But again, just puts a little bit more pressure on the game, a bit more to play for the lads. There'll be a bit more anxiety in the stadium. It's just making for a great finish and a great run-in.
Can I just ask you, Hills, if you were a player today, would you want to know about the Liverpool score, and if you did find out that they'd lost the game, do you think it would put more pressure on you, or it would give you a lift?
I think definitely I'd want to know, as long as it didn't compromise my build-up to the game. I think once the game started, I wouldn't want to be knowing at half-time, put it that way. But before the game, I think it's fine. I think these players will use it as a bit more motivational push in the game. And hopefully see it as something that can spur them on. It'd be a great position to be in at the end of the day, top of the league.
It's impossible not to know these days as well, you know what I mean, with phones and all that. Their mates will be texting them before the game and all that stuff, you know. You could hide from it before, but now, no chance.
Pigeons used to deliver it, didn't they?
There's absolutely no chance. So I think you've got to use it to your advantage, haven't you? And that's what the guys have got to do today, take it out onto the pitch and lead by example and beat this team, because it's going to be a tough game, really tough game today.
Confident though?
Yeah, I'm confident. I think we've definitely got enough in the whole squad to beat this Villa side, but they've got some talent and they've got someone very special in goal, and I think he's been absolutely sensational for them this season, Martinez, and he's been the difference, so he could be the one that saves them today and causes Arsenal a problem. I hope not, but we shall find out shortly.
All right, fellas, we'll be back to you for the first half in a bit. Lovely to catch up. Right, we've done our key man already, Clarke, which was Declan Rice, but we kind of got like a key man 1.5 here, because you wanted to mention Trossard.
Yeah, I didn't know the team, but I wanted to talk about Trossard briefly, because I just think he's so good. He's such a brilliant finisher. I really enjoy watching Trossard play. We've got some minutes per goal stats here, and as you can see, by some distance, 143.3 minutes per goal. That's the best by far, with Saka second and Ketia third, and then Havertz. So, you know, this is a guy that doesn't get that much game time, but he scores goals. He's got 8, and 6 of them have been from the bench, which is remarkable. No one in Europe's top 5 leagues has scored more goals from the bench. 4 of those 6 were in the Prem as well. This is his breakdown of the goals. Left foot 3, right foot 4, and a header as well. He can kind of do it all. I just love the fact that he's so two-footed.
When you consider what we got him for as well, what a great bit of business.
Yeah, you know? Well, we could have got Mudryk potentially, and yeah, I think Trossard is definitely really well suited to Arteta's style of play, and I've met him. He's a very chilled out kind of guy, but also driven. You can see that he's a winner, and I think that he's a good addition to the squad and the dressing room.
Yeah, agreed. Right, Villa key man, you've gone for.
I'm copying heels. I'm copying heels. Yeah, Emi Martinez. Look at this, goals prevented. Right, this is according to Opta. This is like based on the shots you've faced. How many? A lot of keepers, by the way, more than half the keepers in the division are on minus. So it's hard to get positive in terms of goals prevented. But he's prevented 5.6 extra goals being scored against Villa through excellent saves this season, which sort of placed him joint third in the division. So he is a great goalkeeper, absolutely brilliant. He's a good sweeper keeper, you know, behind the back four. But he's just got, I kind of, there's a part of me that wishes we'd never sold him, but, you know, but then I do, you know, I love Aaron Ramsey, I love David Raya. Yeah, you kind of move on, don't you? But I do think looking back, we sold him for around 20 million. I think he'd be worth a lot more than that now. I wouldn't be complaining if he was still an Arsenal player.
It's funny how things pan out, though, isn't it? You know.
Good luck to him. He did brilliantly, didn't he, in that cup run?
Yeah.
And then it was a choice. What do we do? Do we keep Leno? Do we sell Martinez? And I think it was Martinez had more value. He was younger. He was the more of a commodity. So we cashed in. Yeah. And I just feel that he's developed into one of the world's best.
Yeah. Right, teams in the tunnel here at Emirates Stadium, so I think it's a good time to get a stat trick from you if you could, Clarke.
Yeah, let's do it. Look, Villa unbeaten in their last 9 Premier League away games against London teams. They'd like to come into the capital. Previously, they kept on getting beat. They'd lost 8 of their previous 9. So they're on a good run here in London. Arsenal have won 10, drawn 2. Lost 4 matches against Villa at Emirates Stadium. They've won 4 times here. This is a good stadium for them down the years, Aston Villa, which is maybe why I'm a little bit sort of on edge today compared to some of the people here, just because I can remember some of those defeats. We're just 3 points off the tally we had at this stage last season. So, look, we all know what happened last season. Front runners, we were brilliant. We're only 3 points off it. And then, of course, we only took 10 points from a possible 21 in the run-in. We'll take more than 10 from the last 21 on offer. So I think we'll end up with a better tally this season.
All right. Well, Clarke, thank you very much.
My
Back
pleasure.
with me at half-time, but the players just making their way out onto the pitch here at Emirates Stadium. So let's get down to our commentary team of David Hillier. But first, Dan Roebuck, all yours.
Woo!
Many thanks to Nick, many thanks to Adrian and all of the gang upstairs. In between the battle with Bayern, a key clash with a top 6 side featuring a former Arsenal coach, of course. For the Gunners today, a matchup versus Unai Emery's Aston Villa, the Midlands club, who themselves have their own domestic and European ambitions, defeated Mikel Arteta's side in the reverse fixture and are on for an unlikely double in the league over the North Londoners. It would be just the 3rd time in Premier League history if they are to win here. Arsenal have lost only once at home in the top 5 this season. But David, if they are to leapfrog Manchester City at the summit of the standings after City's easy win over Luton yesterday, first of all, we've got to guard against complacency and no slip-ups. This is not Liverpool against Crystal Palace. We have to win today.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the result earlier on, maybe putting a little bit more pressure on the team to go out there and perform. But they know what's at stake, Dan. A tough Villa side, but Villa have got to come here and do something that no one's been able to do this year, and that's beat Arsenal on their own turf. And it's a tough place at the moment. The fans are normally on point, and it's absolutely vibrating in here. The sound all the way round is, you know, you can't hear yourself think. So yeah, it's fantastic stadium, fantastic fans, and all set up for a fantastic match.
Well, Arsenal made 3 changes from the side, which drew 2-2 with Bayern in the first leg of their Champions League quarter-final last Tuesday. Alexander Zinchenko, Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Jesus are all recalled to the starting lineup. It means that the Gunners line up with Raya in goal, back 4 from left to right of Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba and White, Havertz, Rice and Ødegaard midfield with Trossard left, Saka right and Gabriel Jesus up front. I guess it's that left-back position which is up for grabs to a certain extent. Zinchenko, the right call for today's game?
Yeah, I think so. I think some games allow you to play Zinchenko, who's going to be a little bit more on the front foot. I think with teams that are more of a dominant threat up front and physical threat up front, I think it calls for having a more defensive-minded player in Kivior. So he's definitely chopping and changing between the two in that position with that in mind. But as we've seen, he could not be happy with that and change Zinchenko at half-time and put Kivior on to make things more solid. I think it's a very fluid formation, and it depends on who's getting joy as well. If Ben White's getting joy tucking in on the right-hand side, then you can settle just for a Kivior.
Flags being waved, scarves up above the heads of all of the supporters here at the Emirates Stadium as North London Forever resonates around this 60,000 capacity stadium. The Arsenal fans have been brilliant over the last 18 months, and I would suggest over the last few games here they have been something special, and hopefully they can help Arsenal get over the line here against an Aston Villa side. 2 changes, incidentally, for Unai Emery's side to the team that beat Lille 2-1 in their Europa Conference League quarter-final first leg during the week. Nicolo Zaniolo named in midfield for Douglas Luiz, who serves the first of a 2-match ban after he picked up his 10th yellow card of the season against Brentford last weekend. And Moussa Diaby is preferred to Leon Bailey, who drops to the bench. 2 sets of players take a knee ahead of kick-off. The full Villa lineup: Martinez in goal, back 4 from left to right of Dean, Pau Torres, Diogo Carlos and Ezri Konsa, and then a midfield quartet we think is going to be Rodgers, McGinn, Tielemans and Zaniolo, with Watkins and Diaby as a central 2. We will see if that is the case. Plenty of fluidity, of course, when it comes to the Aston Villa lineup. David Coote is our matchday official. He's in charge of an Arsenal game in the Premier League for the first time since the 2nd week of the season, when Arsenal won at Crystal Palace by 1-0. We're underway. Aston Villa in their change strip, attacking the goal away to our left, and have a throw-in. It's taken by Luca Dean, but it bounces off the head of Bukayo Saka, who's in stunning form, of course, for Arsenal in midweek and has been all season long, as we know, David. Here is an opportunity, though, for